Hello everyone, welcome back to Talking at Turf TV. It's me, Reese, just with a quick match reaction to what we've seen at Turf Moor this afternoon. Burnley, with a 1-0 defeat, an unfortunate result, and very much more of from where we left off in the second half against United. On Saturday for the most part, for 80 minutes of the game, it was still an absolute contest, and Liverpool never really did what Liverpool do and control the game. Burnley, fought and made it a contest throughout the game, and once again we seem to be saying the same thing. If Burnley could have taken our chances, we would have been looking at minimum of a draw, if not a win. At half time, everybody I spoke to thought that Burnley deserved to be winning at half time, and Vegas had two golden chances that if he was still playing in Germany in the Bundesliga, you'd have to say that anyone who's watched any German football this season, not that I was a weekly watcher of it, but I watched a little bits and I've seen him score. I think it was 3 goals on Sky this season, and those are the sort of chances that, and particularly the first one, that he just didn't put enough on for whatever reason, rather than putting his foot through it. He went for a little dink and it just didn't prove to be enough to get it over the line. Well, I'm sure if he had his time again, and that'd be the sort of chance that he'd routinely take in Germany, and perhaps was just a slight subconscious element to it that, because he's playing in a new league, he feels that he has to take everything that bit quicker, which is especially what came to light with the second opportunity where he had chances to take at least 2 more extra touches to take himself closer to the goal. But because he's in the Premier League, he feels pressured to do everything within a split second because everything happens so much quicker in our league. But overall he played really well, and I'm sure, like, given a few more games, you can see the obvious sort of abilities in his game and how technical he can be and how much he likes to link up with other players to help us sustain attacks more, and that will come. So it's a real sickener for us that he went off injured, and we've got to hope that that won't be too serious, and it's something that can be fixed before the Brighton game next week, because psychologically the game drifted away from us in the last 15 minutes. Now, whether that was because we didn't feel we were carrying so much of a threat anymore, or it's just because of the general fatigue of the squad from what they've put in over the past 1.5 games. But the game was never the same for the minute that Vegas left the pitch. But overall, every player get a high rating, and Liverpool usually are imperious and create chance after chance. But really, in terms of memorable saves being made, I can't remember Nick Pope really being called into action, barring sort of 2 or 3 routine saves that you'd expected to make. It was not the game that you were expecting really at any stage. To be fair, Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion, selected a team that gave Burnley opportunity to sort of compete and be in the game. I was fearful, particularly of Thiago Alcantara and Ivy Elliott starting the game, but fortunately for for Burnley, it was the midfield of Henderson, Keita, and Fabinho. Fabinho was a slightly stiffer midfield, and even though we were outnumbered in the centre of the park, you have to say that what Westwood had a good game. Josh Browning had one of his best matches in terms of energy and tenacity, and uh, his quality on the ball was excellent too. So even though we were outnumbered 2-3 in the midfield for at least the opening hour of the game, Burnley won the midfield battle. So, again, it was just missed chances, not being clinical enough, which is highlighted when we scored just as 17 goals in our 21 matches. Leaves nothing to the imagination about as to why we are where we are. But at least we are creating the chances, and the fact that we can say that against, a defence that's as meagre and as structured as Liverpool, it's all credit to the boys, really. Obviously, it was quite a bit of an eyebrow raiser when we all saw the team sheet to see that Aaron Lennon had come in and to replace Dwight McNeil. But for me, I was entirely in favour of that because Dwight McNeil is not, for several months really, he hasn't improved or sort of done anything to keep the shirt. Admittedly, because we have such a thin, well, not thin, but wafer thin squad, it's often just assumed that we know who the players taking the pitch will be in that competition for places is not as exactly hot as it should be. Every player shouldn't feel a bit striving all the time to push on to the next level and exceed the quality of the previous performances. And usually, I was having a conversation with someone at before the match today who said that, often when a young new prodigy of high talent just breaks through into a first team in an elite league, they'll play 5 or 10 games, then sort of plateau for a little while, and then be taken out the firing line to sort of observe how they can improve from the sidelines and come back reinvigorated and then push on to the next level with the benefit of a rest and not taking the place for granted, but because of our sort of, the fact that we don't have a squad and our starting 11 is all that we have to work with, kind of. But Dwight McNeil has basically been flogged and sort of been played into a rut through never being able to be rotated and have a break. And when he came on, you wondered if he would be reinvigorated and sort of the rest today and give him a kick up the bum, if you like, to come out and come out and show a more dynamic and confident performance, but it didn't really pan out that way, and he was still that one sort of example where he took on 3 or 4 Liverpool defenders, uh, pirouetted in circles 3 times, and eventually got the ball taken off him in the second half. Pretty much sums up the way things are going for him at the moment. But he did cross the ball twice very dangerously, and the ball just evaded the heads of our attackers twice. So, you know, hopefully he'll come back stronger if he regains his place. But no, we're pleased with the performance, pleased with the application, uh, pleased that we sort of tactically played or tried to play on the weaknesses of Liverpool, which was the high line of the defence, and there were 1 or 2 close upside calls that slightly just narrowly went against Burnley, and it was always going to be a game where if we were going to have to do it, we were going to have the luck to take the chances that did come our way. We were going to have to be clinical and getting some luck along the way, and it's just a shame that we fell victim to a set piece that having basically absolutely uh, stunned Liverpool with our intensity and our work ethic in the first half. It just seemed a bit of a soft and unfortunate goal. I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but just a sort of scummy little goal that uh, it is gonna go against the team uh, down at where we are at the bottom of the league. A bit of a pinball type situation, and we're just unfortunate not to scramble away. But overall, I have very few complaints. Everybody sort of stuck to the task well. We kept possession very well and kept the ball very well in intricate situations and played ourselves out of trouble a lot. That one of the sort of only complaints I would have is at certain times, especially in the first half, when it was possible to sort of retain the ball and maybe take the sting out of Liverpool. We seem to play for the sort of greedy sweeping pass too often, and the sort of deflections and just forcing it through to or attempting to force it through to the strikers was the wrong option, and so we left ourselves very vulnerable to the sort of the power and the pace of the counter attack a few times, and a couple of times it looked like we were going to have defenders caught out of position through having a couple too many players, especially Connor Roberts up the field. But fortunately, that never cost us, and just sadly, really, that we couldn't have took those chances, and uh, unfortunately, Cornet isn't quite playing with the same sort of skill, drive, and uh, I don't know what the word is, but whatever he's trying, just at the moment, isn't coming off. He was ineffective on the wing and sort of not playing with too much cohesion when he went up front when Gerrard came off. It just sort of seems like he's either off the pace or perhaps taking too much responsibility on his own shoulders to to be our star man and sort of, thinking that he's the only one who can make things happen for us. I just think he needs to simplify his game and get back to passing and moving like he was when he first came, rather than sort of trying to take on the defenders and running down a few too many blind alleys. But I give Burnley's effort today 9 out of 10. I give the application of what we did and what we tried to do 8 out of 10. But unfortunately, no points, no goals, and uh, let's be honest, the result for Newcastle with them beating Aston Villa is an absolute kick in the bollocks. And leaves us more adrift, and 3 wins in a row for Newcastle pretty much means that you can forget about them and take them out of the equation. So now with uh, Everton's new manager bounce of with having Lampard and then scoring 4 goals in 2 home games with him, you can forget about Everton. So now it's, can we scrape a few wins together? Can we win at Brighton? Can we put a consecutive run of results together now that we're approaching some games that theoretically look more winnable because we just appear to be playing better, but ultimately, are we going to run out of games? But the only thing you can say is, if we do go down, we'll be going down with a fight. We'll be going down with purpose. You can tell that the players are all on the same page and that they're again willing to do what Burnley do and dive for the cause and run through brick walls for Daesh. But are we going to run out of games? And ultimately, if we do go down, you can definitely attribute that to the inability to be able to invest and sort of keep a fresh, uh, you know, innovative set of new players together over the last 3 or 4 years. But as we've got 10 players coming out of contract at the end of the season, one way or another, things are going to change in the summer. So it's going to be a very interesting journey. And we prefer, obviously, for the rebuild that's going to be ongoing over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, you'd prefer that to be happening with the financial security of a place uh, in the Premier League rather than the Champions League. But if we can replicate these two performances this week over the last 4 days against elite teams like Liverpool and Man United, if those can be replicated against the lesser teams, and we can take our chances and we can offer the same sort of intensity and make it uncomfortable and not let teams get into a rhythm, because today we made Liverpool look essentially like an average team. You thought we were playing Wolves or Leicester, and for the fact that Liverpool had to sort of depend on taking Jordan Henderson off and Wakehurst's injury sort of psychologically damaging Burnley's momentum. That was the only time when Liverpool ever sort of began to uh, dictate the play up until like 75 minutes. Any three results, a Liverpool win, a draw, or even two Burnley goals for a win, everything would seem impossible now. This morning, all you wanted to happen was for Burnley to compete, Burnley to make it difficult for Liverpool, and that absolutely happened. And, you know, some of that did happen through like nice conventional football, not necessarily just agricultural play either. So very pleased with the performance, very pleased with what we tried to do, gutted with the result, and I hope that the players can just be propelled forward with confidence and uh, just keep on doing the same things. And if that happens, I'm sure the results will come, and I'm sure there is still a chance that we can get out of it and survive. But it's getting to a point where it's now or never. And to be honest, the odds are beginning to start so far against us that it's time to sort of bring a fearless mentality to it and throw caution to the wind because there's not much else to lose. Anyway, I'll be back later in the week to talk about the Brighton game. Unfortunately, I won't be going to the game, but I do plan to find a way of watching it, and there'll be 2, if not 3 videos coming your way in the next week. So please subscribe, and share my videos. And thank you for watching. And uh, not to be for the result we wanted today, but a valiant effort and a performance we can be proud of. So up the clarets, so let's hope we can use it and that results change soon. Bye.